Sit up, never like you know it. Special packet with the automatics. We gon' send them to heaven. Wait. Hey.
Yo.
Oh, you feeling sturdy, man. Shake it. She like the way that I dance. She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I woo.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Clap for a nigga. If she throw it back for a nigga. Yeah, she throw it back for a nigga. Mike and Mary.
Another installment of your favorite show on psychedelia and baseball. And everything in between. I'm your host, Jim Job, the baseball hippie. And this is my cast of crazy characters. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
What up?
Oh, we got a very special, a new member of the cast, of the rotating cast members. A very special guest by the name of Carver. Carver, how's it going today, man? Thanks for being on the Baseball Hippie Show, man. Glad we made this
thanks
work.
for having me. Yeah.
How's my voice?
Sounds great.
Am I glitching?
You sound good right now.
Yeah.
I was chirping. The whole last show with Cousin Dan, I felt like I had the hiccups when I listened back on it. And of course, we've got our engineer, the Hippie Show trusty engineer. Do left right there. Let me pass you the disc, man. Here you go.
MLB The Show's coverage of Major League Baseball is on the air.
Tell the
Should be a
fans.
good one here this
Remember, we got
afternoon
updates on
between
the
the
show,
Minnesota
too,
Twins and
How you doing though?
I'm good. Hold on. Sorry. I think the baseball game started in the background. My bad. Ask me that question again.
A baseball game started in the background?
Yeah, the show is.
Have you been streaming Taiwanese baseball? Hey, we got to start watching Taiwanese baseball.
Are they playing?
They started their season. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We've been missing, man. We could be doing updates. We could be having live updates. All right, we'll get you more on that next show.
They got people in the audience there. They go in no people.
No people. Yeah, I saw a game. There was no people.
That's smart.
I saw like highlights of it. Yeah, they're going no people. I think we'll get it because you're an overall Carver. You're a big sports fan. Like we talked about pre-show, you're a big '90s baseball fan, but I suspect you have a little more baseball knowledge than you put on. And yeah, we're going to talk about baseball. We're going to talk about movies. You're also real into video movies, and then we're going to talk about psychedelia.
I love it.
Nice. Wait, Brown Bear, how are you doing, man? We didn't get that answer either.
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. Yeah, same old. Been working, hanging out, eating.
You've seen a lot of me in this quarantine.
Yeah, dude, it's been good. I've seen a lot of you, and I've eaten a lot of food. Played a lot of video games.
Me too.
You been making anything? Like, I get on kicks. I like make stuff. Macaroni.
Yeah,
What do you mean making? Making food or making
beats?
I'm talking. No, I mean more like food. Like so, I'll like, hey, I want to make pizza, and then I'll make pizza for like a week straight, or like I'll make so much dough that I have to make like pizza forever. And not that it's a bad thing, but
No, I love pizza.
So yeah, well, I guess I bring up pizza because that's what I did last week. I made enough dough to where I could do like how's this taste if I let it sit in the fridge for 1 day? How does it taste if I let it sit for 2 days? How does it taste if I let it sit for 3 days? Third day pizza was the best for sure.
Really? 3? Wow.
It was like more aged taste. I mean, it was my preference. It was more aged tasting, and it was like.
And you're just talking about the dough, or all other things, pretty much?
No,
like,
the dough, like the dough before.
Yeah.
So I guess the way I did it is I mixed it, let it rise, and then I divided it all up and put it in the fridge, and then I let it sit for different amounts of time in the fridge.
Sure.
So to kind of like re-rise slowly in cold rise, and I felt like the third day rise was the best crust.
That's just like what happened to Jesus, kind of.
There's some Easter pizza. I feel like I made the last one on Easter too, which is mad funny.
That is funny.
That'd be a good name for a pizza restaurant, the last meal. Dang, you're a breadsmith. You're a breadsmith now. You're craft of making a perfect pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I got hooked. I had to keep at it. I also made cinnamon rolls because I made too much yeast, so I had to do something with it. And I made cinnamon rolls, and they were fire.
Very nice, very nice. Shout out to pizza. Shout out to cinnamon rolls. Carver, what you been munching on in this Q activity?
Well, my roommate Royal has been cooking up a lot of pretty dope stuff. We went vegetarian like a few months ago. I don't know, might be a year now. And so he's been making a lot of food, making a lot of dope stuff.
Nice.
A lot of good veggies,
Nice. Veggies are good, man. Roasted veggies, fried veggies, fresh veggies.
I'll take any which way but loose, baby.
I tell you, I do like things from the earth. Call me a hippie. But if it comes from the earth, it's probably got a little bit of that natural essence, that goodness.
And I love like that earthy flavor, some people say some things taste like dirt or whatever, but I always think that tastes like clean to me, like the taste of dirt a little bit. I know it's like counterintuitive, but like that real earthy flavor always tastes like real, I don't know, clear. I don't know.
I get that.
I get that.
Yeah. You can see that. It's like, what flavor do you?
What was that?
What's an earthy
Radishes or carrots or something that's
Yes.
like in the ground.
Yeah, potato.
I once had
Potato.
radishes with this really nice butter and some salt, and it was just so good. It was just so good.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, there was just really nothing like it, man. It's kind of a French cuisine. So yeah, cuisine is trippy, and we'll give it the shout out here on the Baseball Hippie Show from all the regions of the world. Well, I'm thinking about making gyoza this week because I just had some, and I was like, well, I only had 5, and I was like, you know what? I want to make these because I want to make like 20. Why stop at 5? There's no reason to stop,
Yeah, I've never made dumplings like that, like handmade.
Yeah, they're
thin dough that you have to pinch and stuff, right?
I think so.
Yes, they're not that hard, to be honest. I mean, there's definitely a delicacy, but you just got to get the oil hot enough, and then you just pinch them and just throw them in that oil. Cook them up 2 minutes each side. You got yourself a little.
Pork ones or what
Nah.
style?
Oh, all veggie, baby. I'm veggie as well.
Oh,
You've been veg for a minute.
Yeah, I've been vegetarian for quite some time now.
how long?
Probably like 6 years, 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, right around the time that I did stop cutting my hair too. That's a story for later, though.
Are those things related?
I don't know, man. You tell me.
It's all part of the baseball hippie life.
Hair is just your inner. Hair is just a doorway of perception from somebody. Hair is for other people, man.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But I mean, it can get long enough that it might be for you too, where it might be annoying, right?
Yeah, I've cut it a few times. I'm actually lying
That's
about
where
that. But
mine is
I didn't
right,
cut
right
it.
now is annoying stage for sure.
Let it go. Let it go, Brammer.
I think that looks pretty good. It's not so
fan.
bad.
Do what was naturally intended.
Keep growing it.
Yeah.
Well, it's at that point where I gotta like commit or give up.
Yeah.
Hey man, you're not going outside for any time in the near future. I'd say commit now.
Yeah, my job's pretty lax even when I do go back to work.
It's cool.
You got to wear like a button-up shirt or something. Like what kind of lax?
Nah, so like on a real level, like I'm so like one of the guiding
At work right now. Just kidding.
one of the guiding things that we try to do is like meet people where they're at, and so I feel like if I show up in like nice ass clothes, trying to talk to people about poverty and shit, it's not really gonna go over very well.
Yeah.
So like, not that that's who I am anyway, and like I would be wearing those kind of clothes, but it's cool to be able to be myself there because I feel like it's easier and more real to do my job if I can just show up and be myself. And like, because the goal of it is really just to build a connection with a person to try and actually like help them, you know, achieve whatever they're trying to do. So if I can just go in and be real and like actually build a real connection with someone, then they're not going to be like, oh, this fake ass dude. Just
true.
I don't know.
No, yeah, for sure. And your comfort, like, I mean, I couldn't imagine dressing up like that every day. That type of.
I mean, I could wear like a polo shirt or something, but like that's about it. I like wearing a suit, like, you know, to like a wedding, but I couldn't do that shit every day.
I would hate it.
Do you ever wear a suit to work just cause?
No.
Hell no.
Just a flex.
I don't even own a suit.
The nicest I ever get dressed. It's funny actually. It's nice, and you can tell when people are interviewing or like promoting because that's the only time anyone dresses up at work. If someone's in a tie, you're like, oh damn, where'd you interview, Fancy Pants? Pretty funny.
Yo, shout out to everybody out there wearing a suit at work, but here on the Baseball Hippie Show, we endorse all different flavors. You can be a hippie and wear a suit. It's a new age of hippie. Back then, you would have been called a square, but nowadays the rules have changed, in my opinion. Anyways, I'm just gonna make a little segue for us, if that's okay, fellas.
Yeah, do it.
We got some kind of show business actually to attend to. We actually got one of our first comments the other day on, we talk about trying to promote a little more, trying to get our YouTube subscribers out there. We had I can't tell if it's a bot or not, but someone
I saw that.
Tom.
I think it's fake, dude. I don't know who that dude is. I don't trust Tom.
He said, great job. Keep up the good work. He has over 150,000 subscribers. So again, if you like our show, hit the subscribe button. Or don't. But whatever you do, think to yourself, who is Roger Schmotis? Is the shit. We found what the point of our show is, which is to find out who Roger Schmotis is. We'll get into that later. But yeah, here's some other thing. We actually got some emails too. You can write to us at the Baseball Hippie Show at gmail.com. And we got 2 emails. We got an email from Kathy Frankberger.
Yeah.
And she writes, hey guys, love the show.
No.
She writes, hey guys, love the show. Can't wait to see who's on next. Hey, I got a question for you guys. Who's got the most to lose if this season doesn't start this year? Wow.
Okay. All right.
Well,
that's a good
thanks,
question.
Thanks, Kathy Frankberger. Shout out, Kathy Frankberger. Again, you can write to us at thebaseballhippieshow@gmail.com or hit us on the request line. But Carver, why don't you take that first? For what you know about the modern game.
Yeah. Well, and remember, my knowledge does not quite extend to right now. But if I had to say, who has the most to lose if the season doesn't start, it's got to be every year Kansas City Royals. they're always on the verge of just going under. If they can't get butts in the seats, they're not going to be a team anymore. They're going to move. We're going to get a new team in Vancouver.
That's very apt. That's pretty apt. Also, the Rays are good, but they can't seem to fill seats either. Carver, who do you think? Who? That's a great pick, Carver. I like that. Royals.
I like that too. I think the easy answer is the Dodgers, because they have to win. If they don't win a championship, I think we've said this before, with the team that they've had, they really blew it. Other than that, though, I'd say...
What would you put the over-under at? Like, this current Dodgers team has been together for a few years now. Like, the over-under, if you had to guess, of, like, how many titles they might win, is 1. I mean, if they get under that, that's crazy, right? With this
That's what I'm trying to say, is, like, it'd be a huge failure. A huge failure. And for this season to go the way it has, or to not have gone at all, when they made the moves that they did in the offseason, like trading for Mookie Betts and that stuff, it's just gonna sting extra hard for them, I think. But let's see. I think on a more interesting take, and for, let's say, American League, the Twins, because I think the Twins are at an interesting point where they have kind of an older crowd, an older roster. They got both, I think, Josh Donaldson and Nelson Cruz, who are like at the end of their
How old
day.
is Nelson now? Is he 38, 39? He's got to be.
If not 40.
There, right?
If not 40. Let me take a look.
Yeah, he's getting up there. He's 38, 39, I think.
And I think they were both in a position to have great years, but, you know, I think it leaves the Twins in a position where, you know...
You think Donaldson was going to bounce back even more? Like,
no, not saying that necessarily. I just say, like...
I think he signed a 4-year deal, too. I do have to say that. But I'm with you. He's
I just don't think he's getting any better than he is. I guess this is probably the peak of what he's going to do, I would say. I don't know. Nelson Cruz is 39 and 289 days, so he's about to be 40.
All right. Well,
all right, so
Josh Donaldson is 35. No, he's 34. He will be 35. 34.
Which, if you think of like somebody's athletic peak, it's in baseball. It's usually 27 to like 32. Right?
It was, but Nelson Cruz is one of the players that has kind of reshaped that model, even though he's gone to DH. But yes, you're right. I'd say 29 to 31 is like your prime, and then you're never going to be as good as that. But people have been, I mean, Barry Bonds, Barry Bonds.
Yeah, but there was something else going on.
Supposedly, he won that federal court. He won that federal, he beat those 8 counts, man. That's all I'm saying. Beat those 8 counts.
What is your answer,
Don't
Jess?
bring that slander.
What's your answer, Jess?
My answer is, I was thinking about this morning, actually. My answer is the Chicago White Sox, one kid in particular, who probably will have a good career, but Michael Kopech had Tommy John, and that kid is like 22, looks like he's going to be a beast. And he showed flashes, and then he had Tommy John last year, so this would have been his comeback season. And I bet he's pissed because he's trying to get back up there. And, yeah, I don't know. I think the White Sox had a few, yeah. What's up, though, John? What's John Camerly said?
John's got some love.
He's asking for baseball players who've killed people.
Whoa.
I know.
We'll look it up. We'll get you back.
Albert Bell tried to run over somebody with his car, a trick-or-treater, I believe. I don't believe he killed him. He also hit somebody with a baseball a disabled person actually in a wheelchair who was heckling him. With a
Yes.
baseball
This
bat.
is kind of dark, but Jose Fernandez killed the other person, the other
True.
people who were in the boat with him,
Yeah.
and he crashed his boat.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he's asking about murder
He's
or.
talking about. We'll look into it. I'm sure they have. I mean, baseball's like any other thing.
I think
got your
most.
fair
I would say
share of
most of it.
sickos.
I would say most of it though is probably on the manslaughter type tip, like the Jose Fernandez thing, like
Yeah.
accidents or something. Like
The
vehicle.
lack of collisions leads to less CT, and I think that probably leads to less people killing each other. Probably. Like if you talk about football, there's a ton of people you can reference, right?
Mhm.
People that have killed somebody. But in baseball, I can't. I mean, Jose Fernandez is the closest I can think of.
Wasn't is it Matt Bush, the pitcher for the Rangers? Wasn't he in prison for something? Did he? I don't know what he did.
And Josh Hamilton went to prison, right?
Wow. It's a great
That was
question,
the
John. We'll follow up on that. I got a guy here too that I want to talk about in a
it
second.
was-
But
It was his third
Marty
DUI.
Burgeon.
He didn't kill anybody.
Marty Burgeon was a player around the turn of the century, 1899, turn of last century, excuse me. And he had odd behavior, and he killed his wife and kids and took his own life in 1900, the year 1900,
Jeez.
and was a professional baseball player. It's getting pretty dark, but yo, we got a
Who do you play
second.
Just real quick.
He played for the Cleveland. No, just kidding. He played for Boston Bean Eaters. 344
The
games
Austin Bean.
for the Boston Braves. But I guess they call themselves
Ah.
the Bean Eaters. Weird.
Back
Yeah,
then,
the Boston Bean
Cleveland-
Eaters.
Cleveland would have been the Spiders from I think 1890 to 1900.
Spiders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great name. They should bring that name back.
that's what I'm saying. After that, they were the Naps because Naps LaJoy was like their shortstop, all-star, and he was also the coach. So they changed, and I think that's a good name too, the Naps. It's not bad.
Naps. You know a lot about Cleveland sports, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Amazing. And you've met all four members of the Bone Thugs and Harmony.
All four. I smoked down with El Berna.
Alberna,
What?
Lazy Bone. We'll get into that too, Carver. We got much more show to come up. Thanks again for being on the show. You're just full. Man, we have had some good guests on these quarantine episodes, and we can't wait to have you back to talk baseball when the season is back and going. But we got one more question. This goes from Rick Marole at lycos.net.
Lycos.
Lycos. Anyways, Rick Marole says, yo, when are you in the LOL crack up? Ken the Koala. Shout out Rick Marole. Okay. That bit. Anyways, who is the best Mariner of all time not named Griffey or Ichiro? Wow.
Ooh.
Does he mean?
Carver, you
Gotta
want to
be
take a
Ed-
step?
I think
Edgar,
it's got to be
yeah.
between Edgar, Brett Boone, or Randy Johnson. One of those three. Maybe Alvin. I mean, Alvin could be up there, but probably not, right? For me, it's personally Paul Sorrento.
Paul Sorrento.
I'm joking.
John Olerud.
John Olerud, really?
No.
I feel like he's
that
more
was
of
a joke. That was a
Blue
joke.
Jay.
That was a joke.
Rich Amaral.
Rich Amaral.
Norm Charlton. No.
Norm.
Heathcliff Slocum.
Heathcliff Slocum.
Yeah.
No. I think you're right with Edgar, but my personal favorite and I'll always say is Jay Buhner.
Yeah,
Buhner.
Jay Buhner's up there.
It's my boy.
Gotta be.
Buhner Buzzcut.
My boy. I used to go to Buhner Buzzcut.
But I
dude.
mean, if we're talking greatest, Edgar's got to be up there, right?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, in terms
Randy
of performance, yeah, Randy Johnson, Edgar, you named them all. I think.
And Brett Boone is like he had some amazing seasons for them, right?
Ugh, gross. No, he was good. And he was good.
Beltray.
I mean, he had some
Wasn't
really
that-
good seasons.
Beltray was terrible for the Mariners.
Oh yeah,
but overall, he's pretty good.
he was so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if we're talking about
But not for the
Mariners,
Mariners. Like Omar Vizquel was overall.
I'd have to
really
say
good.
A-Rod. A-Rod had
A-Rod.
that's
some
a good point. That's a good
monster
point.
seasons on the Mariners.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look up A-Rod's Mariners numbers. They're pretty crazy.
dude, they're insane.
Man, I'm trying to look up. Randy Johnson posted this Instagram art of himself that someone made. It's just immaculate painting of him. I'll try to pull that up a little later. But yeah, shout out to Rick Morrell. Shout out to everybody who's been asking questions. Shout out to John out there. Thanks for tuning in. And
Yeah.
what?
This is. I found this.
Looking great.
I found this full set of 1986 Topps baseball cards.
Yeah.
And do you know anything about the 1986 Cleveland team? Carver?
No,
No, oh
Not at
man.
all.
I was gonna say we could do some sick trivia. We got the whole team right here. Got the whole 1986
Alex
team.
Cole, I think, was their center fielder. I think Alex Cole was the center fielder. Let me think on it real quick. He might not have been 86. It's hard.
I think you should pull a random card, and we should pull like 2 random players, and we should just talk about their career
From the just 2 random from the whole box.
from the '86 season.
Okay.
That was a year before I was born. But yo, I gotta go to the bathroom. Actually, I hate to do this in the middle of my own podcast, but Carver, can you hang tight for a sec? Can you?
Yeah.
I can hold it for you, bud. I can hold it.
Oh, dude. Dude, I
Okay.
really don't want you to.
Okay, so when we get back, we'll pull a few cards and we'll talk about 1986. Then we'll get Brown Bear will play a game of baseball, and I'll interview you about Cleveland sports and anything else you want to talk about. How's that sound?
Yeah, I got some opinions on the Braves that I can't wait to get off my chest.
I'm sure you do. Thanks for listening, everybody. Baseball Hippie Show. We got Carver on tonight. This is the near daily quarantine episode number. Who really cares anymore?
6.
6. I'll see you guys in a second. I'm gonna pee my pants. Bye.
All right, so Brown Bear, can you tell me a little bit about? You played the show, right? 2020.
Yep. Not very good, but play it.
And you play against real people.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, we've been playing what's called ranked seasons online. You can work your way up this
So how exactly
reward
does that
ladder. You work your way up this reward ladder, which here I can pop it up.
How do you decide who gets what players?
So it's kind of like baseball card
Is there-
collecting, essentially. So there's like a market you can buy cards that you want with virtual money, but you can pay real world money to get the virtual money. But then there's also missions and collections and stuff you can do through the game to earn cards that you don't have to pay for, stuff like that. And then also by winning this online mode, you can get cards. So yeah,
Okay.
and then
Nice.
with those you build your team. There's all different kinds of players, from like the live series players to like legends to like future star versions of cards and stuff like that for prospect players. It's pretty interesting.
So who's on your team, or what's your lineup?
Let's pull it up.
And do you pitch? Do you have to pitch like a rotation? Do you have to have?
Yeah.
Five
And so
starting
you have 5 starting pitchers, and there's like an energy bar that you have to that depletes each time you throw one of them, and so you can't like throw the same pitcher back to back, essentially. And it takes a few games for them to fully recover.
Alrighty, we're back. How's it going?
Good.
So
We're
Camerly wanted you to hold it. Really?
All right, I gotta pull up on this YouTube channel and see what all this noises. I hear a lot of yip yapping on the request line. Time for the old cowboy to see. Time for me to saddle up, ride up into town. All right, so whoa, no Crispin Hayes in the MLB. I took it there, Lycos.
Yeah, Benoit. I just watched that Vice series on
Want
him.
me to hold it. Too late. I let it go because that is part of the baseball hippie mantra. Let it go.
Comfort.
Let it go. Comfort. Exactly. Well, anyways, you guys ready to pick some cards from? We'll call this segment "Picking Cards from Brown Bear's 1986 collection of baseball cards."
So, the Miracle Mets were 85 or were they 86? I can't remember.
I can pull up. I
feel like they were 86.
86 sounds right.
Boston beat the Mets. Nope.
Whoa. All right, so Miracle Mets 85, I guess, right?
No, the Mets, Miracle Mets won in the 7th game after overcoming a deficit of 2 runs, 2 outs, and no one on base in the bottom of the 10th. Game 6. This is the Bill Buckner Curse of the Bambino game.
Oh, yeah.
The original Miracle Mets was 1969.
Okay. I'm way off then. That's the Tom Seaver. They came back and had more miracles.
Yeah. Funny thing about that, my dad was a Mets fan because he grew up in New York. And 1969 was in Vietnam. And so he was in the shitty Vietnam jungle fighting that war when the Mets won the World Series. And so he's not a Mets fan anymore.
Wow. Oh, shit.
He's like...
That turned him off?
Yeah. I think so. I don't think he's like anti-Mets, but definitely I think it soiled it for him.
Oh, that sucks.
I don't know. I don't know if he's ever actually told me that. I think that's my interpretation of it. But he's a Mariners fan now, so I don't know.
Right.
There are other connections here as well between the 1986 team.
All right, so we're doing 2 cards.
Yeah, let's do 2 cards. And this is, you got any 80s music? Yeah, maybe let's start with 1 and see how we're feeling. I just read this article about Jimmy Carter he registered that he saw a UFO.
What?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that as well. That's just what made me remind that. This is on the historychannel.com. Remember, what'd you pick? The Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
Onyx Concepcion. Let's look them up.
Let's check out those stats.
I don't know if you can see those. Man, he played for a good deal of time for the Royals. Let's pop him up.
All right.
It's a top 10 name. That's a great name, great stash.
That's an amazing fucking name. I can't believe I've never heard that name. All right.
I can't find him. How do you spell it?
Onix Concepcion. Concepcion.
Okay, Onyx Concepcion, baseball reference from Puerto Rico. This dude played in the majors for Played the majors for 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. Didn't really.
He batted 282 one year though.
Yeah.
What did he bat the other years? What's his career?
His career batting average is 239.
Oh, he showed up again. He got 1 at bat at age 29.
Oh shit.
But at 27, he was out of the league. Let's learn more about him, though. That can't be his only story. That can't be all.
Can I guess position?
I got a Wikipedia.
Is he a shortstop?
He is a shortstop.
That's what I wagered. You can't get away with a hit unless you're a shortstop. You know what I mean?
Concepcion was a member of the Royals team that won the World Series in 1985. He scored the game-time run in the bottom of the ninth inning of Game 6 on a single by Dane Org.
Wow, Dane Org.
Dane Org, which also drove in Jim Sundberg to win the game.
God.
So that dude has a World Series ring. Onyx Cardona. Onyx Cardona, Concepcion Cardona, 65. Shout out, Onyx. If you're out there listening, respect from the
He's still
Baseball Hippy
rocking,
Show.
dude. He's 62. Dorado, Puerto Rico. All right, dude. Onyx Concepcion. Let's stick that in the back so we don't re-grab that one. If I grab another Royal, I'm putting it back. We got to do. The rule is it's got to be a different team. Oh my God! It's another Royal.
Wait, where did the Royals finish in '86? They won the title in '85. Where'd they finish in '86?
It's a great question.
How old was he in '86? Was he almost out of the league? He goes from game tying run in the '85 World Series, and then what? I feel like he's probably out of the league in a few years, right?
That's a great question, Carver.
He would have been 29 or 28, I think.
Here's the crazy thing about time too is like the '80s felt so far away when I was born in '87, and I rocked through the '90s and up till now.
Right.
But when I look at history as I get older, the '80s was the closest thing that we just barely missed, and everything else is also pretty close too. So
The
it's
86
like any connection, like my grandma, any connection you have to any time that anyone's lived is actually pretty close, because there are things that affect you that you or your grandma or anyone around doesn't have any. It's just from a long time ago, you know.
Yo, the '86 Royals finished 76 and 86 after winning the World Series. What a disappointment!
10 games under.
What a bummer.
That's how it goes in baseball, though, man.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready for card 2?
Yep.
I'm totally ready for card 2. And you know what's cool? I'm looking on Baseball Reference on Onyx, trying to gather more. They have a news archive. Shout out to Baseball Reference, which is actually really valuable because the articles is where the meat of the player is going to be. I mean, you can get great quotables from the local paper, but yeah, Brown Bear, hit him. Who's next?
We got Mike Moore.
Mike
Seattle Mariners.
Oh.
I've heard of him.
Is he a pitcher?
He is a pitcher.
Nice.
All right, so let's pull him up here on reference. Career 4.39 ERA.
That's pretty damn good.
That's
That's all right.
Pretty damn average, yeah. He's got a 161-176 win-loss record. So
also
very
pretty average.
Very average. Let's see some standouts. He led the league in losses on two occasions.
Really?
Yeah.
What years? Because I got a little tidbit on my.
Our birth year of 1987, he led the league with 19 losses.
But then 2 years later, he made the
He
All-Star
was
team.
third.
Top
Yeah,
20 MVP.
he was third third in Cy Young voting
Yeah.
in 1989 when I was a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a workhorse. He pitched for 14 years.
Yeah.
yeah.
Had a 17-8 season, 13-9. Up until the end, he was doing all right.
17-10, not bad. 19-11. He almost won 20 games one year.
That was the Cy
Oh, they
Young
got
year.
They got a New York Times article about him. Former MLB phenom Mike Moore defies the odds of first overall picks.
What does that mean?
He was drafted number 1 overall by the
Whoa.
Mariners in 1981
Oh, wow.
and
This
began a
is
14-year career. Made a good living in Major League Baseball, enough to own a cattle ranch in Arizona and a farm in Oklahoma,
Whoa.
where he grew up and still lives. This was in 2018, June 4th.
He made
Just
19
2 years
million
ago.
over his MLB career.
You guys want to hear a quote
that's a lot of
from Mike Moore?
cows. That's a lot of cows.
You want to hear a quote from Mike Moore?
Hell yeah.
He's talking about his former roommate, long-term Major League second baseman Harold Reynolds.
Oh.
He says, Harold was telling the guys, "Do you have any idea how good your coach was?" Moore said. They were like, "No, not really." Moore laughed. "Sometimes I tell these kids, I was the original Steven Strasburg. I was the first right-hander pitcher ever drafted number 1. Ever drafted number 1.
This
They're
dude's
like, "Oh, I
flexing.
can't understand.
This
Maybe you're
dude
good."
just-
He's a coach for the A's, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, shit.
Dang.
Yep. I never lost anything in my life until I got to the big leagues, and I never played on a winning team in Seattle. Moore said 1 year, 78 game, most I played on with the Mariners. Oh, man.
Wow.
What a boss. Shout out to the Seattle Mariners. Hey, this is a good segue. Yeah. This is a good segue into that documentary that Carver first exposed the baseball hippie show to. Let's give that a shout out in a second. But first, that was digging into Brown Bears baseball card set. And that's the little segment where we go into Brown Bears baseball card
Yeah,
collection.
dude, that's new and that's
learn
tight.
something
That's
new.
tight.
So shout out Mike Moore and shout out Onyx.
Concepcion.
Yeah. You guys have anything final says on that?
Nah, that was tight. That was fun. We gotta do that one again.
Totally.
I feel like
Totally.
Onyx had some big spots in his career. He won a title, but Moore made more money throughout his career and was more of an impact player. Which career would you rather have? Would you rather win the championship, or would you rather make 19 mil and like have a kind of
Be a workhorse starter who amounted 2 seasons with the worst loss record that 1 year made an all-star team, or be a guy with a World Series ring that
game
only
time
played
run?
7. Yeah, had a big moment in the World Series, only has 7. Oh, I'd rather be Mike Moore, I think. Now I think, because it's like, I can name a handful. Oh man, starting pitching. Where do I start? That's. But man, I'm telling you this. James Earl Carter Jr., born 1924. He's still alive this day at 95. Was the 39th president of the United States from 1977 to 1981. In 1981, Jimmy Carter.
Oh yeah. Okay.
One term president. He filed a report on a UFO sighting in 1973. He claimed he saw an unidentified flying object in 1969. During the presidential campaign in 1976, Carter was forthcoming about his belief that he had seen a UFO. He described waiting outside of a Lions Club meeting in Leary, Georgia, to begin about 7:30 when he spotted. He called the darndest thing I've ever seen in the sky. Anyways, Carter promised that if elected president, he would encourage the government to release every piece of information about UFOs available to public and to scientists. After winning the presidency, though, Carter backed away, saying that the release of some information might have defense implications. Pose a threat to, quote, national security. That's from history.com. The history
He
channel.
knows something that he's not telling anybody. I I like Jimmy Carter, but I want him to tell us what he knows.
We need to know.
Jimmy, who's Roger Schmotis? How close are you to the Urdosh? And what do you know about Yule lads? It's all from last week's show. Carver, we're building a lexicon. We're in the YouTubeosphere. This is the Baseball Hippy Show. We got a very special guest right above me on the Brady Bunch. Carver, Cleveland native, about to talk about some Cleveland things.
Oh, yeah.
Bremer's gonna play some vids. I think.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna step away real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Carver, I'm listening though, man.
No, yeah, I was gonna say before we get into it, I'm probably gonna take a piss, but I'll wait until he gets back.
No, you can go. It's live, man.
I'm gonna go right now.
You should go. Yeah, I can talk. It's fine. I can talk. So, yeah, if anybody's out there on the request line, send us a holler. As you heard earlier in the show, we have a Gmail, thebaseballhippyshow@gmail.com. And we take questions. So, yeah, shout out to all the people, Kathy Frankberger and Rick Marol, who gave us their questions. This is the Near Daily Quarantine show. I'm the Baseball Hippie. This is the Baseball Hippie Show, a show about baseball and psychedelia and denuclearization. And speaking of denuclearization, I know that in the COVID times, you should really support your local health worker or anyone out there on the front lines doing whatever essential work. Shout out to everybody doing that. But here on the Baseball Hippie Show, it's always been a mission for denuclearization or nuclear disarmament. And there's a wonderful organization called Peace Action that's been around for a long time. And so, yeah, we just want to shout out Peace Action and everybody who does work over there. And also the ICANN network and Food Not Bombs. So, yeah, shout out to all those people who do wonderful work. And if you have any time or energy or resources, send them that way. Man, we've had some good shows. Hey, you guys came back right at the same time. Crazy.
It's weird.
Carver's there now in LA, lost ground zero. You're around a lot of people. You guys, I feel like LA is doing pretty well. I'm holding out for you guys because LA is a huge place with lots of people.
But it's also kind of spread out, so it doesn't have the problem that New York does, you know, where it's like people are all right on top of each other.
So true. So true. Well, you ready to get into some Cleveland talk, my friend?
1 second. Are we looking at your lineup real quick?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. It's a little blurry for me. Can you go through it?
Yeah. So we got, I don't like this lineup. Hold on real quick.
Do your position players get tired also? Do you have to, have a utility guy or anything?
Not in this mode. That's a good question. No, it's not so much. Okay, so I have. I don't think Gary Sanchez either of those going on.
So you're playing with your lineup right now. You're changing it around.
You should start Griff, man. You never start Griff.
King Griffey Jr.?
Yeah, this isn't the best version of Griff.
Oh, okay.
This is like the lower version, the lesser version.
What year? 26?
This is...
Would that have been right when he went to Cincinnati when he was getting hurt a little bit?
I think so. I don't know how to find it. This is like a flashback card from a different version of the game. So it's like before they did the year card. So anyway, we have rookie Mickey Mantle leading off.
Whoa!
Switch hitter, not bad. We have Trevor Story. I think it's
Okay.
one. I think that's the only live series card I have. So he's the only like current player. And then we have
He's your shortstop.
he's my shortstop. We have Cargo from 2010, his breakout card.
That was a big one. He was with the Rockies then.
Yep. And then Gary Sanchez, June 2017 Player of the Month card.
What?
Todd Helton, 2002 All Star.
Yeah. Flirted
Very
with 400 that year, right?
I think so.
397, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't know if it has the year stats. No, that'd be cool.
Him and Tony Gwynn were going back and forth, like probably 99, 2000, somewhere around there.
Then we have. Oh no, this is a live series card too. Never mind. Gleyber Torres, second base. I don't have a lot of good second base. Then we got face of the franchise, Kyle Seager. This is just like a prime Kyle Seager for like the 1 year he was prime. And then where we at? Curtis Granderson, 2011 All Star,
So that's Mets, or who is that?
Yankees.
The Yankees, okay.
Yankees.
And then pitching, got Greg Maddux,
Ooh,
Zach Greinke, prospect Justin Dunn, Mariners prospect, Mike Clevenger, and Blake Snell.
okay. The last, I mean, the
You
top-
gotta start Clevenger
Right?
because he's a Cleveland pitcher. We got Carver on the show, and he's a hippie.
Lefty.
Yeah, he's up for the Rod Beck Award this year. The most gnarly dude that exists. Hey.
All right.
Yo,
That was awesome, man. Your team's
then-
pretty.
Relief. Anybody in relief? Who's your closer?
oh yeah, sorry.
Grimble.
I do have
Grimble.
Kimball.
Grimble.
Okay, Craig.
No, closer though is actually Kerry Wood, 2000,
nice.
2008 All Star Kerry Wood.
Nice.
Wow.
We also have 69 Nolan Ryan,
Ooh,
Ken Giles,
nice.
1994 Rodman,
Love him. Was that Marlins? Right
Marlins,
before?
Marlins,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, man. That's
Craig-
a throwy.
Craig Kimbrell, Giovanni Gallegos.
Oh, that guy had a
And
good
Vita
year
Blue.
last year.
Vida Blue. I always love that name.
Yeah, that's a great name. All right, let's get into it.
Awesome.
All
Let's
right.
do it. All right. Well, first off, to start this whole thing, I'd like to talk about a certain team and a certain time. I want to talk about the 1998 Cleveland Indians. What do you know about them?
I know a lot about the 1998 Cleveland Indians. That's one of my favorite teams of all time. 95, 98, 97. Those three teams were huge. 98 was the first year they had Roberto Alomar, I believe. That was a big deal at the time. Or was it 99? I think it was 98.
I'm thinking it's 99 from the numbers I got right now. But let me pull it to 99. That's fine.
Check it out for me.
We can take it a year for
Because they lost Baerga after that 95 season. Then they had David Bell starting. Which he
yeah,
never really
Roberto
played anymore,
Alomar. Roberto Alomar was 99.
So that was a
Yeah.
big deal to trade for him. Who was holding it down at second base in '98 for the Tribe?
Good question. Let me take it back a year. David Bell.
David Bell still holding it down. Yeah, he
And
became.
he had a good year, I think. No, 262.
Reds manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 double. Oh no, excuse me. That's Omar Vizquel. 21 doubles though. 262. 41 ribbies. 10 homers. That's a good season.
He was more of a utility guy, though. I mean, he played backup third base, backup second base, and backup shortstop.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the place. Vizquel, he must have. I think he had 305 that year, 11 homers. Is that right? 41 ribbies, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say two things about this team, and actually, why don't you say? Well, I want you to go first about the 1999 Cleveland squad, and then I'll give my 2 cents, and then we'll talk more, elaborate into a bigger Cleveland picture, and give a full scope. Yeah.
So the 98 Cleveland squad was one of the biggest. All right, so 97, right? I got to take it back a few years in order to really tell this story. 97, Jarrett Wright bursts onto the scene, right? The dude is throwing fireballs. They make it all the way to the World Series where they lose to the Florida Marlins. That team was stacked, and then the Marlins proceed to tear it down. But that leads to 98. In the 97 offseason, the Tribe had apparently a deal on the table where they could have traded for Pedro Martinez, right? Could have traded Jarrett Wright straight up for Pedro, which would have, I think, they'd be World Series favorites, right? Don't you think?
I do. Yeah.
Pedro to that team, but they decide that Jarrett Wright is good enough that they're going to keep him around. They think he's the next Pedro. Didn't turn out to be that way, right? 98 happens. They go up against that Boston squad with the new Pedro Martinez. They go up 2-0 in the ALDS, only to lose the next 3 to that Boston team that eventually went on to lose the World. They didn't make it to the World Series that year. The Yankees won, but
at Jacobs Field.
At Jacobs Field. Oh, it was so rough, man. And so they bring in 99. They're fielding an all-star team at that point. They bring on Roberto Alomar, the whole team. Tommy moves to first, right? That's the first year, really. And they're just like fucking destroying people. But they don't ever really sniff, deep postseason play until later on in the 2000s. And it's what could have been. That team from 95 to 2000 was like primed to win it all. And they just
I agree. Your squad and the Mariners have, they have a lot of similarities in the 1990s. The main difference being our team was probably named by a CIA operative named Roger Smodis, and your team has an innate racist name, logo. And we don't have to go that far. Yeah. And everybody has an opinion, but it just sucks because I think. Well, actually, I'll just take your opinion. If they changed the name tomorrow, would you rock with them?
Oh, of course. I refuse to call them the Indians. Like, I won't say it.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, my dad was a big fan. He'd always wear an anti-Wahoo pin. He wanted them to change the name, especially to get rid of Chief Wahoo, who's like an incredibly racist caricature.
Yeah.
Right?
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome for your dad. I mean, the Spiders would be rad. The Spiders is a cool name to me. Maybe that's because I'm not arachnophobic.
And their colors were green and black, which is like pretty cool colors.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, okay, I will say that the main similarity is offensive powerhouses. And I'm going to read the 1999 team. I mean, this lineup is probably the best lineup of the 90s. I think we've argued this drunk before. But let's just stack them. Okay, so you think 99 out of all the 90s teams, because of Roberto Alomar with 120 RBIs, 40 doubles, 323 batting average. Well, Tommy had a 333 batting average. Well, Manny Ramirez had a 333 batting average. 165 RBIs
65.
for man. That's the most in the
homers.
modern era. I remember looking it up. If you look up who has the most RBIs in a season, It's a fascinating stat because Hack Wilson owns
Hack Wilson.
200.
Whoa. Juan got really close too, right? Didn't Juan Gonzalez get like really close to that same year? He had like 162 or 161. Like he was right up there.
We're gonna look it up. But anyways, there's not a lot of people in the modern era. I'm talking about past 1940.
Yeah.
On this list. But here we go. Hack Wilson, 191, RBIs. But still, that's insane.
Yeah.
And then we've got Lou Gehrig at 184, Hank Greenberg, Jimmy Fox, Gehrig, Ruth, Greenberg, Chuck Klein, 1930, DiMaggio, Sam Thompson, 1887. And then right here, about 8 or 9 down, Manny Ramirez, 165, 1999. And then Al Simmons, 1930, Sam Thompson, 1895, 165, Babe Ruth, 164, 1927, Babe Ruth, 163, 1931. Wow. Sammy Sosa is the next one at 160 in 2001.
Damn.
Yeah. And then, I just saw Wongo, 1998, 157. Sammy Sosa, 158, also in 1998. But that's in the 20s. That's in the 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
So, shout out Manny Ramirez. Were a mix of performance enhancers part of that at all?
The Baby Bull, you think he was on? I think, personally, my belief is he became reliant on those later in his career, kind of like an Eddie Pettit. He used them to get back in shape. But I do not believe he was juicing at the time. He may very well have been, but I choose to believe that he wasn't.
I am a huge advocate for Manny because Manny being Manny. It's what we talk about on the show a lot, you know?
Yeah.
He just does his thing, and if doing steroids is part of that equation, it's what he does, man. But I will say he was a pure hitter, and if you go back and watch his early days, he was skinnier, but he was always could straighten his swing. And
he came into the league 94, right?
Yeah.
So he was young and skinny and hungry, and he made a lot of stupid mistakes. But like, you're gonna put on mass over the next 4 or 5 years. You're just gonna. He was at his peak then, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think his physics changed in the way that they did for McGuire, or that they did for Barry Bonds, obviously around the same time. Like physically, he looked pretty similar. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, the A-Rods, and the Roger Clemens. But his story, it's resounding that he isn't even talked about in the Hall of Fame discussion, nor will ever be mentioned. Did he get caught with steroids? I think he got...
Of course.
He got out. He got embarrassed in the league, didn't he?
And that was towards the end of his time. He could have went off gracefully, and he would have
got
been
caught
Hall of
twice in
Famer
a
already.
row, I believe.
He didn't need to.
2009 and 2011.
It's like an
10 years later.
I know.
10 years later. 10 years later. True. Wow. Well, anyway, shout out. I'm going to give a super shout out to Manny Ramirez because I am a fan. And,
the Baby Bull, I know he's watching.
Yeah. If you're out there, Manny, continue being Manny, but also just also listen to some, it's okay you can be yourself and still take opinion and kind of mix it into the equation. I think if you're an obnoxious asshole and everybody tells you that, and then it's like, it's just Manny being Manny. It's like, at some point, it's Manny being obnoxious asshole, and not just Manny being Manny. So there is a two sides of that coin.
True. And it didn't get noticed much in Cleveland because he had Albert Bell right there, right? Like, he had a guy who was, like, making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And Manny being Manny was, like, a cute version of what Albert Bell was doing. You know what I mean?
He made some of the most epic bonehead plays. He was one of the worst defensive players of all time. But he was a monster at the plate. It just is true. Even without the steroids, I'd argue he was still one of the best hitters of the modern game.
Oh, for sure.
Here's another name on there, and we're going to flash a picture when this game is done, but he goes by the name of Richard Sexson. Do you know anything about this
Richie
guy?
Sexson.
He's listed as your number one utility player in
6'11". Or how tall was he? 6'7", 6'8"?
I believe.
More than that?
Let's look him up.
6'11".
He had 116 RBIs off the bench.
Yep. How many homers? 21? No, 31? 34? No.
31.
Yeah, 31.
31 at 24. Bram, are you hearing this?
Yeah, 31.
Dude was poised, but his strike zone was huge. And after those first few years, like, they learned how to pitch to him because he was so tall, you know?
Yeah.
He got traded to the Brew Crew, and he had a pretty good career there as a power hitter. But he was like Russell Branyan, another Cleveland guy. He was like one of, it was the three outcomes. Either strikeout, walk, or homer.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah, you know who's not good? Who he wasn't good for?
Who?
The Seattle Mariners.
Yeah.
It's awful. In fact, he's looked at as one of the worst deals ever. Yo,
Really?
Shout out to Brown Bear. Brown Bear, who you playing right now?
I'm getting worked by Cordeezy 00.
Yo, shout out Cordeezy out there in Los Angeles. It's kind of cosmic. All the players. We had John on, and you played someone in Portland or Seattle. My cousin Dan's from Seattle. You had someone from Seattle, and now we got Carver down in Los Angeles, and you're happening to be playing someone on Los Angeles. I think you're going to win. It's only the third. You just got to settle down. And, yeah, I think you got this.
Love the positivity, bro.
Yo, I gotta name a huge one of my favorite players. I used to always play mock his stance.
Yeah.
David Justice.
Dave Justice, yeah.
Okay, he had 21 home runs and 88 RBIs that year, but in '93 he had 120 ribs, and in '97 he had 101, and yeah, he hit 40 homers in '93, and he batted .329 in '97. So he was a beast in the 90s.
I mean, I feel like '99 was one of his last good years. After that, he went purely DH, right? I know he had a bunch of actually pretty good seasons as a platoon, because he would just rail left-handed hitting, right? What are splits? He would fucking kill it.
Yeah, he was really good on one side of the plate. I remember.
What the fuck?
Yeah. You're good. You got 2 outs, man. Strike him out here.
Of course, we were just watching that doc, and Mark Langston was a part of it because he did it for Randy Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Mark Lansing is also on this '99 Cleveland team as a long reliever kind of.
Oh yeah.
Spot starter.
I saw that Charles Nagy also, and a 26-year-old Bartolo Colon.
Oh, Cologne was so good that year, dude. It was crazy.
I love Cologne, man. Big Nasty, yo. Shout out Big Nasty. Yo, Carver, can we shout out that show, though? What's the actual name of it? We've talked about it on 2 episodes now. You got to give it a proper...
Oh, yeah. It's called Dorktown on SB Nation. They're doing, a history of Seattle of the Mariners.
I think they talk about Mike Moore in that Mariners.
I think they might.
Yeah. I think that's where I heard the name. But anyways... I'm going to talk about a certain 1996 team, Seattle Mariners, and we did have this argument once, but man, they have accumulated a few more ribbies per player. Jay Buhner had 138, Griff had 140, Rodriguez had 123, and Edgar had 103. So
don't forget Paul Sereno. How many he have?
Paul Sereno had 93 and 57 walks. So
dude
was for him.
Dude was a machine.
He was. He had 32 freaking doubles and 23 homers. He hit well in the kingdom. Russ Davis, Rich Amaral, Luis Sojo, Darren
Russ
Brett.
Davis. I remember I thought he was going to be huge. After his rookie year when he hit 20 homers, I was like, this guy's going to be awesome. And then he kind of never... He couldn't get on base was the thing. He didn't walk enough.
Yeah, he was fast though, right?
Kinda. I mean,
Are we talking about Dustin Bragg?
No, I'm talking about Russ Davis.
Oh, Russ Davis. Yeah, Russ Davis had an all-star year, and then yeah, fizzled. Yeah,
Fell
you're
off the
totally
map.
right that. Okay, well, before we close out on these classic 90s squads that we're talking about, I got to name one more player from your squad. And again,
Yeah.
I think there's a mutual respect between Cleveland and Seattle fans who were fans in the 90s, which is where most of the fandom came from for both franchises. Would you
True.
agree with that?
Oh, of course. Both franchises had been terrible for about 20 years prior to 1994. And then, 95 happened, and they both became perennial, contenders for 10 seasons about.
With great home run hitting offenses and,
Dude.
and a great fan base. But I have to say, you also had Dwight Gooden at 34 on that team. But that's the side note. The real name I wanted to bring up was one of Paul Ossenmacher. Do you have any good memories
Ooh,
of Paul
Ossenmacher.
Ossenmacher? Because he looks like he got shell-shocked this year, but I thought he was a pretty good reliever.
He was a really good reliever. I mean, I think 95, when we went to the World Series, I think he had a 3.14. And I remember he was a lefty, would come out of the bullpen, usually for one or two batters. He was the type of guy, like an Jesse Orozco, he'd come in, just take care of a few right-handed hitters middle of the lineup. And he was good at it for a few seasons. But oftentimes those soft-throwing lefties, man, eventually they start getting rocked, right? The little amount of juice that they can put on a ball and get that spin, it just...
Yeah.
Some lefties, like Jamie Moyer, pitch until they're 40, right? And he was a similar guy, but when you're a reliever, you got to pitch power. Usually a reliever only has one or two pitches, and he fell apart. But I was a big fan. I remember 1995 against the Braves. I went to the game 3. We were down 3-1. Tommy hits a homer, right? Bottom of the 7th. And
Jim Thome. Yeah.
My favorite player of all time. We go up 4-3.
He has a
Ossenmacher comes
statue.
in,
Yeah.
shuts down Justice, shuts down Marquise Grissom, and just takes their left-handed hitters out of the lineup, and it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. There's nothing like watching a pitcher in the relief stages get tapped up at a home ballpark as the crowd goes ruckus.
Oh yeah.
It actually takes a lot of courage to be a relief pitcher in any stage of baseball.
Yeah.
But at the major league level, I am too fragile emotionally, I think, to do that. But also, maybe you got to get in that headspace where you just don't care. Maybe I could get there. Okay, Brown Bear, I know you're getting frustrated with the game, but man, I got to ask you.
It's 4-0. They're winning, but I got a runner on third with only one out. Oh my God, I'm getting.
I like that. Rally time.
Rally time.
I gotta go get my rally cap.
Brown Bear, yeah, I'm going rally cap too. I'll go rally cap.
There we go. That's a run. That's a run right there.
Yeah, baby. Rally cap.
Shit. Oh, wow.
You got this. Hey, I go a rally cap for you, man, inside out. You guys know about that. Inside out. Hey,
Oh,
but
man.
Brown Bear, can you answer some questions while you're in the middle of a rally?
Yeah, I can try.
All right. Well, we got you right here. The year is 1995, and then we're going to segue to some other Cleveland stuff, okay? Okay,
Yeah,
Carver?
whatever. I'm down for wherever.
Okay. So here we go. Brown Bear, what do you think Jose Mesa's numbers were in 1995 at age 29? What do you think his ERA was, and how many saves do you think he had?
Jose
If you can
Mesa.
take a guess.
42 saves. Am I like hot, warm, cold, ice
You're
cold?
warm.
Warm.
That's a great pick, yeah.
Wait,
40.
how many did you say?
What about his ERA?
42 with a
Yeah, 43. I think.
43. Wow. Okay. And then I'm going to say he had a 2.34 ERA.
Jose Mesa
Whoa,
in 1995 had 64 innings pitched, a 3-0 record, a 1.13 ERA,
Oh, wow.
and 46 saves. He was a beast. Joe Table, as some people call him. Shout out Jose Mesa.
Joe Table.
Wow. Wow.
Joe Table?
Well-
Who calls him Joe? I never heard Joe Table.
Josh, this other person I know, yeah. I don't know. No one actually calls him that. Anyways, Jose Mesa. Shout out, Jose. I won't call him that again. Sorry. No disrespect. Shout out to Jose, man. We got our rally caps on. Brown Bear's going to come back and beat Los Angeles for the Battle of LA. We got Carver in LA. He just happens to be there. Who are you playing again? Carterman 86? I can't read it.
Something. I'll tell you in a second.
Carver, let's expand the Cleveland sports realm now because we got you here. We know baseball's not the only sport you like. So Carver's a true Clevelander. He's met all members of the Bone Thugs, as we talked about earlier. What else?
Wish was in jail. I only met 4 of them. Wish was in jail.
Wish was in damn. Just keeping it real, even though Wish wasn't on all their albums because he was in jail. He still has to keep it real. True, but Brown Bear, what? Excuse me, Carver. What other music can we? Well, like when we talk Cleveland, who are we talking? Rap, other music. Cleveland's brought a lot of music to them, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean there's some good music. Not a lot of great rap, I wouldn't say. I mean there's Kid Cudi and MGK, which aren't some of my favorite rappers, but I have some respect for Cudi. He's fine.
I didn't know Kid Cudi
but
was
as
there.
far as
Peskies.
from Cleveland.
Peskies.
Oh, little shy.
Yeah.
Almost hooked her.
But as far as like
Cordisi 00.
like 70s. Ooh.
70s?
Cordisi 00.
Oh yeah, you guys
Cordisi
got
00.
Bootsy. Bootsy Collins is from out there. Or no, he's from Cincinnati. I'm giving that. That's another Ohio. Ohio players, yeah.
We're not fans of Cincinnati and Cleveland typically.
Really? There's a small beef or huge beef?
It's just like Cincinnati is not cool. It's like 6 hours away. I don't know. People from Cincinnati are typically, or at least I thought when I was younger, I thought they were like pretty trashy, you know?
Yeah.
But now
Yep.
I'm just like, they're chill.
Do you guys have Checkers out in Cleveland?
Yeah, I remember Checkers. They had one right next to the rallies on Euclid.
Yo, super shout out Ohio. If anybody out there is from Ohio listening, we're talking Cleveland baseball here on the Baseball Hippy Show. We're talking Cleveland sports. Yeah, but what else? Where else are we taking Cleveland?
So, like, in the 70s, they had this dude, Goulardi, right? He was, he did, like, the horror show on, like, Saturday and Sunday in the afternoon. You know, you tune in, and he would, like, get on there and, like, introduce some crappy, like, horror thing, right? And, like, he was a big deal for Cleveland, but, like, outside of Cleveland, like, nobody really knows. I mean, he eventually moved out to LA. He became the voice of the Dodgers, right? He would do their commercials. And then he had a son who became Paul Thomas Anderson, who was a director.
Whoa. Wow. And he's like a famous director, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like a real famous director, right?
Yeah.
And this dude Goulardi, he was like super famous in Ohio. He had this catchphrase, "Stay sick, turn blue," and he would like people would mail him like bombs, and he would just set them off in the studio. And anyways, there's this band, the Cramps, from around there, and they were real inspired by like what Goulardi was doing, you know, and like Perry Ubu and like Rocket from the Tombs, which eventually split up and became like the Dead Boys and Perry Ubu, shit like that.
Yep.
They were all from Cleveland.
Wow. That's team history. Yeah. And Cleveland's kind of like a corridor too. It's like you drive to get to a lot of places in middle of America. You kind of got to go past Cleveland, right?
Yeah, they used to call it the gateway to the East. You know, like for the mafia, because Cleveland was kind of run by like the Irish mob, right? So the Italian mafia had to come through south of there, through like Youngstown and shit.
Yeah, because they didn't want that smokage.
They didn't want it, not at the time. No.
Well, we don't promote that type of violence here on the Baseball Hippie Show, although we've definitely seen it in our lives. But I will say, my friend, I got a little tidbit for you, and I got Wishbone and Flesh mixed up.
Okay.
But Wish is actually my favorite Bone Thug member by far.
That's crazy.
10-time Bob. And I've had this ski chalet in Whistler, Canada with a friend of mine. Okay. Where we were just there and we just started really getting into it. And we were like, man, because he has a verse on the song Ecstasy that's like, it's just legendary. It makes no sense, but it's...
Which one? Where he's like getting so violent because he's on it? Which is his verse? I don't remember.
I've been smoking weed for a very long time. Why should I change?
It's that ecstasy shit fuck with your brain.
Hey, I thought I'd be high and horny, but instead I want to hurt somebody. I've never heard of that adverse effect.
Never.
Interesting that he talked about that.
That's my favorite part of that song, because he's like, I get so violent, fucking with that ecstasy. And you're just like, what? Like, that's not what happens, dude. Because he, like, talks about how, he
feels uncomfortable. He's like, talking about feeling uncomfortable, and then he gets violent. Sorry to laugh, but man, it just opens up, like, it's so deep how he talks about that. And, like, he's open about it. Anyways, we were just wondering, I wonder what Wishbone's up to right now. You know, you don't hear about Wish. And so we pulled up this interview, and we'll play it hopefully after this game's done.
After I get worked.
No, we got our rally caps on, dude. It's only the 4th, 5th. It's the 6th.
Hitting it right to this dude. Oh, what's going on?
All right, man. I think I'm gonna say something. Next time you get to the plate, don't think about where you want the pitch to go. Just try to let go of all of it. Yeah, go straight Jedi. Go straight Jedi. Bottom of the 7th inning. So yeah, anyways, we found this interview, and he's being interviewed by a middle-aged white woman in a luxury automobile, and it's for like an automobile place. And he talks about how he's like, Bone Thugs was like, everyone felt they were the best Bone Thug member, and I really respected that. And so yeah, shout out Wishbone, and shout out Flesh too, but Flesh wasn't on all the albums, but Wish, man. Sad you didn't meet Wish, but
what are you
gonna do? So let's keep it moving here. What's up in Clevelandville nowadays? The Browns were an epic disappointment last year. I talk about football that much on this, but like, really big. What do you gotta say? What's modern Cleveland like? Like just beyond sports team, but what's sports like too? Not that you live there, but what's your take on it from being a hometown kid?
Yeah, I mean, I don't live there anymore. I remember it was, like, pretty shitty when I was growing up. Like, Cleveland was not that cool. They had kind of a renovation around the time, like, a few years before I left to, like, I don't know, after that. And they started, like, making it look nicer. I think people think it's, like, cool now. I don't think Cleveland's that cool. Cleveland kind of sucks, you know. It's just a shitty steel town that went to shit.
Well,
But
Drew Carey would disagree with you.
no, I think you might agree with me, man. Where'd he buy that soccer team? Seattle, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, hey,
That was a
at least
fucking
he doesn't-
strike.
My favorite Drew Carey joke from when I was a kid.
God damn
Drew
it.
Carey had
It
this
cost
joke
me a
where he'd
fucking
take the
mind.
mic. Drew Carey
Yeah.
had this joke where he'd take the mic stand, right? And he'd set it up like this, and he'd be like, "This is an impression of Bernie Kosar in the pocket," and he'd just like rock it back and forth, the mic stand, and then he'd be like, "This is an impression of Bernie Kosar out of the pocket," and he'd just push it over. And I always thought that was so funny. 'Cause I was like, yeah, Bernie Kosar couldn't run, man.
Just a good old blue collar Drew Carey stand up. I've been to a biker bar in Ohio with you once. That had
Yeah.
you could like pull your bike up on the, or there was like a epic like security system where people would pull their bike up, kind of like you could kind of like scoot off with style because you knew people were watching you on tape as you stirred it off on your fucking rig.
Yeah, did we go to Glory Days? Where'd we go?
Well, it was karaoke.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think you were
Okay.
telling me about another bar where you could pull your bike into it or something. I'm making that up.
No, there's one over there.
This was
Where I
in
was living.
Akron. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, God, I can't remember the name of the biker bar, but it had a bar like right above it called Cocktails. That was like kind of a queer biker bar that was like right above the normal biker bar.
Oh, yes. There was two biker bars on top of each other. Man, shout out to Ohio. What a wonderful place and weird and all that. Shout out to whatever that bar is. We'll get the name, but man, I got this great picture of Richie Sexton will flash after the skins. But he can't even hear us right now, man. He's just gone into the Matrix because
He's in the game.
you gotta be. You can't
My
hear
bad,
the
no.
outside. No, you can't hear the outside
hit-
noise.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't want to hear the outside noise.
but long story short, I think Cleveland's pretty cool. When I was growing up, it was not as cool. I think now they got like some genuine good restaurants, genuine good like shit going on. I don't want
Is
to
it-
talk shit about Cleveland.
Isn't Tech 9? Oh, no, he's from Kansas City. Okay.
No, he's definitely
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love it if Freddie Gibbs, but he's from Gary, Indiana. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I
Where's-
remember when I saw
where's the
Bone
link?
Thugs, they had
Yeah.
I seen them 6 times, right? And
Yeah.
one of like 3 of the times they had either ICP or Twisted opening for them.
Yeah.
And I was not an ICP or Twisted fan or like any of those records, but I remember
You're not a
going to those
juggler.
shows and just being like,
Shout out.
no. I mean, we all can't be so lucky, you know?
Yeah.
God
Okay.
only blesses some
Can't
of
all be
us.
fans.
You can't all be right about good music choices, but you know, you were there to see Bone Thugs. So
Yeah.
yo, man. Okay. Yeah.
And these people were mad nice, but it's like not my style of music, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like that's who they were chilling with, you know? Was like those ICP cats. Cuz like they were both pretty popular at the time. And they're both, you know, Detroit, Cleveland, you know, pretty close. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
fucking weird to me. That's like how they get booked with ICP, doing that psychopathic shit.
It's a crossover appeal. I mean, I think it led to the popularity of Eminem. I'd say he's kind of in that too. I didn't know
Yeah.
like MGK does it too. I guess it's like psycho rap, people like that
Yeah.
style. But man, just goes to shout out to to the kind of the place that Ohio is really, because like there's lots of different weird stuff there. I'm sure. Like, I mean, that whole Joe Exotic movie kind of gave me. Tiger King kind of had Ohio vibes. You know, I'm sure there's lots
Yeah.
of.
Well, it mentioned Ohio in the movie.
Yeah.
Isn't one of the guys' places
Zanesville or
in,
whatever,
in
right?
Ohio or something?
Yeah,
Well,
something
there
like
was
that.
a big there like all these animals got released by their owner, I think.
Oh yeah, that was in Ohio, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too at the time.
They had to kill all these tigers and like kill all these exotic animals, and it's weird. Like I went, a family friend, their mother had one of those places where like she had all sorts of alpacas and like all these weird bison and shit. You know, I have an alpaca named after me, so does my mom because of this woman. And I'm
Wow.
just like, that's
I think you
like it was
told me
fucking
that
weird.
once. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of sprawl. You know, there's a lot of space in Ohio too. It's kind of like where my grandma lives outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. It's not. Doesn't seem like it's farming as much. Like it used to be farms there, but now it's just like wide open grasslands. That's nothing. They're really just not doing anything. They're just chilling.
So it's like, what do you do with that space? I guess you put animals on it, but it's like, it seems fucked up because those animals aren't supposed to live there, right?
Well, I'd say like that was the greatest part of Tiger King is the part where he's like sees the snow leopard and kind of puts two and two together like this is fucking insane.
Right.
And then he spends the next 5 years on it, guy. But I'm gonna switch into Weird View, and it might fuck everything up. But I hope that's cool with you guys. Remember, I'm gonna try doing the weird.
Do it.
Just because we're at the end of our segment talking about Cleveland, I feel like we're fizzling down on Cleveland. We're getting into the seventh inning stretch, into the ninth inning. We're kind of getting towards the end of the show, Carver, and I really appreciate you being on, man.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been real fun, man. Thanks for joining us. Oh, fucking.
Yeah. Glitch out. I'm sure I'm about to glitch. Amazing glitchery.
Oh yeah. There's those big eyes. Those big quiet eyes.
Oh, I'm glitchy. I'm going to glitch on you. So that's the alien.
That's
the
that alien Jimmy Carter saw. I'd be freaked out too.
This is Roger Schmotis. Man, when you get a chance. So yeah, we shouted out that channel though, right? It's the Nerd Code Breakers. They do a good job.
Dorktown.
We like Dorktown. We shout out to Dorktown. Shout out to Nerds. Shout out to Revenge of Nerds. I don't know. I just feel like we do a good job of
Man,
trying to go into some detail. You know, they say that the audience is not smart, but I disagree. I think people, the reason why video and blog and podcast is so popular is because people want the deeper understanding about the Mike Moores of the world, what they're about.
I mean, I definitely appreciate when like something doesn't treat me stupid. You know what I mean?
Me too, especially in art and especially in sports too. When I watch baseball, last time I went to a game, I took a pee before the game. I had one beer and some seeds, and I literally sat for 8 innings, watched every pitch like an old man. But there's still yeah.
Did you keep score?
No, but I would have.
You know,
I would have. I used to do that. But
that's one of my.
That's one of your favorite things to do?
Yeah, like when you go to a baseball game, I like to heckle whatever player I'm near from the opposite team, and yeah, do the fucking thing, you know, do the scorecard. Be like 5, 3, 6, triple play. That's what think the Mickey Morandini triple play.
Score. The Jeter. The miracle Jeter toss. I think I talk far too much about Jeter on the show to make Brown.
I'm getting worked, but that was a sick play.
What happened?
Remember, there's always
center
time to
fielder
quit.
threw a runner out at third.
Nice.
Yeah.
Remember that there's always time to quit, my friend.
Is it still 4-1? No, you can't
It's
quit. You gotta
it's
play the whole time.
6-1. It's 6-1.
Okay.
On our last stream, maybe not the last one, or it was the one before this. I played out a game that I was just getting worked in because I was like too embarrassed to quit on the live stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then Jesse pulled up this whole thing about like this like life mantra to live by about like why
we pulled up a TED talk from Dr. Rachel Thornton talking about the power of quitting, knowing when to quit. So I'm saying. But he said that it still marks your score down if you quit, even.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
in the old game, you'd be able to quit, and then it doesn't.
It's just
give
a
you
dick
that
thing to do.
score.
This guy's probably enjoying crushing me right now.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's more than anything, it's like gamesmanship, right? Because, I mean, I understand these things don't matter, but also you're spending time doing it. It's been 45 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Like, he put in his 45. What inning is it?
It's the bottom of the ninth. So if I quit right now, that'd be so stupid.
Yeah. That would be so... that would be such a dick move. Can you ever talk to these people, like, in some games, how you can, like...
Yeah, you could like create a group
Yeah.
and do like a group chat. I don't like doing it because a lot of people just like to harass you.
Like, how so?
I don't know. It'd be like little kids, like just pestering you. I guess. I mean, I've chatted with people who are chill, but
Dude.
a lot of times people will try to get you to do things like to complete missions in the game, and it's like, nah, dude, I'm trying to like play the game.
Oh, yeah. Totally. They're like, I want to get 3 triples or something.
Yeah, and then I feel like it. I don't know. If they want to quit the game, they'll want to do like a friendly quit, which you can do a friendly quit and then nobody gets the win. But I don't know. I feel like when you chat with people, they try and do that. If they're losing, they'll be like, "Oh man, I gotta go. You want to just quit?" Like, nah, fuck off.
No, dude. Yeah.
There's no reason to chat.
No.
There's no reason.
I don't know. I don't really like chatting with strangers either.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's weird. It puts you right in their living room. Remember?
I'm having a bad streak, man. I'm not good.
Yeah. Well, you're only as good as your cards, too, man. I think maybe you should pay the big money. Go get a Trout card for $200.
Yeah.
What? That's how much Mike Trout costs?
Yeah, we like did the math last time. It's
It was like 150 or something.
It's
to just buy him straight up.
Yeah. Pretty fucking.
I mean, because.
Yeah. Hey, well, I don't know. Maybe, Brownberg, we haven't been able to get audio off this, but.
Well, I can do it. I can share the audio with you guys. If you talk, you're going to hear your audio doubled.
All right.
Which we can do.
First, yeah. Will you flash that Richie Sexton when you get a chance? And then let's get just a small tidbit of this Wishbone interview. And then anything, Carver, anything you want to add, any video or anything, just holler, because we're getting towards the end of the show. We talked Cleveland. We talked James Carter, Jimmy Carter. We talked 86. We invented a segment called Dig into Brown Bear's baseball collection and pick a random card. Yeah. What do you got for us? Anything in the mix? Anything in the works? Anything you want to say to the people?
Well, I wanted to ask y'all if y'all played back in like the early 2000s. They had this card game called MLB Showdown. It was like collecting cards, but you could also play like a dice game. with it.
No.
And it would like 18 through 20 on like Richie Sexton would be a homer if it was
Yeah.
all based on a D20, or like 14 through 20 would be a homer for like Sammy Sosa or whatever, and so you had
Yeah.
to roll like Greg Maddux pitching against Sammy Sosa's hitting and like figure it out. And then it came with like a big fold out mat. It was dope. I loved it though. It was like one of my favorite things ever.
And you should look and see if there's an online version, because I'd play with you like
was sick.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
I'll check it out.
There's a game called Stratomatic that's been around for ages. Similar vibe. That look that one up. Yeah, you have a 7-sided die, and then you have 2 die, and they all mean different things. And you have these charts, and yeah, it's fun, man. I love baseball and dice games.
Oh, yeah,
Shout out. Yeah. I think I remember that game, though, because the cards were also cool. They were like baseball cards.
Yeah, they had like the same shit that they have on baseball. They had foil cards and they had hologram. And, it was like Topps, I think, put it out, but it was like...
You could play with them, because it was in the era of like Pokemon and Magic cards.
Exactly.
So it was like people Magic the Gathering and Star Wars cards were popular back then.
I bought them. There was a Star Wars game that I played too, but I used to go to the comic book shop and play that baseball game against other kids. It was dope. I had a Tony Gwynn who could not get on base. Like, he at least got walked every time. He was dope.
Tony Gwynn had an insane circle in King Griffey Jr. in '64 baseball too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I played that game all the fucking time.
There he is. Yeah, me too. I played a lot of that game. He kind of looks like that one dude from Curb Your Enthusiasm who ends up being with
Funkhauser.
No, he ends up being with Larry's ex-wife, Karen, right? Or
wait, Ted Danson?
Yeah, he looks like Ted Danson.
I can see it a little bit.
He's got Ted Danson vibes. Richie Sexton sported a. Does he have the soul patch in that? He's sported. There's a lot of MLB players that wore soul patches. And actually, Carver, next time you come on the show, let's have a segment called "The History of the Soul Patch in Baseball," and we'll go and we'll look for players that had soul patches and talk about that. Oh, he does. He does.
I love it. Oh, dude, it's there.
It's a patch into his soul. You can see right into his soul.
I thought maybe he was too young. What's this necklace, dog? Is that puka shell? No, it's something else, but it's similar.
It's similar. It's a similar. Puka shell was probably popular around the time that this was going out. Okay, so also Brown Bear, in the video I sent you. Oh man, somewhere I might have to watch it. Somewhere in thanks for bringing that up, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Richie Sexton. Shout out Cleveland Sports. Shout out Carver. We're Baseball Hippy Show.
Change the name. Change the name.
Change the name. And yeah, there was. I'll bring up an article next time we talk to about this legendary Toronto Blue Jays radio announcer who refuses to say Atlanta or Cleveland. He just says the cities.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so Brown Bear, when you play this video, start with the beginning, and then maybe about 30 seconds in, go to like maybe 5 or 6 minutes in. He talks about Tupac, and like it's kind of bizarre. But also, Carver, if you can't pick it up, you can go to the live stream and listen. Just make sure to turn your mic off.
I'll turn it on for you guys. Yeah. It just might be you guys might hear double audio for a second.
Okay, I'm gonna pull over to live and turn my mic off. But yeah, this is Wishbone being interviewed by Stoney Maloney. It's
That's the double.
yeah.
Oh shoot! Hold up.
Go to the beginning.
You want the whole beginning of the movie?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, the beginning's good. The beginning's good. It sets it up.
I don't know why I'm only getting. Hold on. Oh, there we go. My bad. Technical difficulties. We made it pretty far into the show without technical difficulties. But we all good now. We all good.
Yeah, beginning.
All right.
Driving Cleveland.
Comes for you.
99th and St. Clair. It's where it all started in Cleveland for our next driving.
Wait, we gotta get Carver.
Come along for the ride. We're going to pick up Wishbone.
You gotta go back. Sorry.
I think he's watching on the live though. I think he left to watch on something else.
How'd you all get your names? Your individual like nicknames
crazy,
to be like
just-
lazy and Wish and
It doesn't really pertain to either person at all. It's just we just sat back one day and said, because actually I was going to be Busy and Busy was going to be Wish, but I kind of liked the Wish better because it was different, you know, and I kind of, I don't know. And we just kind of came up with them really. Just no, it didn't really, no mean really. It just came up with them.
here you are, young guys. Look, what kind of music were you listening to at the time? What did you identify with?
Everything. Like I said, we just, you know, anything from Motown, Michael Jackson, anything from Motown, Michael Jackson, that era, you know, Beastie Boys, you know, Run DMC, of course, NWA, Ghetto Boys, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, talk about how Easy came into your life.
Well, Easy was an underdog then, and we kind of hated what was going on with him, so it was our mission to get with him because we wanted to kind of uplift his whole situation, so that was our mission. And you know, it took one-way bus tickets, a whole lot of phone calls. I believe Crazy and Busy actually got to rap for him on the phone, and then they figured out that he had a show here in Cleveland.
How'd they even get on the phone with him?
His secretary just kept calling, just persistence, you know, just kept calling. You know, it was annoying or whatever, but it paid off because
Same guy kept calling, or
Yeah,
did you just switch it around?
Different, one of the other members or whatever just kept calling, and the secretary goes by Keisha Anderson. Much love to her. She always told me, "I'm gonna get him on the phone. Y'all just be patient. I'm gonna get him on the phone." And she finally did, and then he had a show here in Cleveland, so had to hustle up one-way bus tickets to get all the way back to Cleveland to open up the show here for him, and then we got backstage.
Okay, so you're from Cleveland,
Right.
but you went out to LA because you thought that's where the land.
Dude, the crazy thing is he still
your
remembers the
jazz are, right?
secretary's
So
name.
you go to LA thinking like maybe you'd meet Easy there, but instead you find out he's going to be in your hometown of Cleveland.
Right.
So you got to get
There's
back
no
here.
way we can miss him here. You know, we already got
Right.
Cleveland on lock.
You get on a bus, you get back to Cleveland to, in essence, stalk Eazy-E.
Yeah,
Right?
pretty much.
And so what did you do? Just like try to hang out backstage after a show?
Well, no,
or-
we knew the people throwing the show. So, like I said, we were really known locally
Yes.
for rapping and everything. We had won a lot of talent shows and whatnot. We made a name for ourselves here. So we knew the people throwing the show, and they just let us open the show for him. You know, we were the openers that night, and we got to meet him backstage. Where actually, I think Busy and Lazy got backstage. Everybody else could get backstage, and they got in front of him. He had us meet him at the hotel, and he told us he'd send for us the next day.
You want me to keep playing it, Jess?
No, I think we've seen enough.
That's a cool story.
Yo, shout out Stoney Maloney. That was the bizarrest interview. Carver, were you able to watch any of that?
Yeah. I saw like the second half of it. It's so strange, but he's like really with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, Oh yeah,
There's
knows
a
where
busy interview from a few years ago where he's like just ranting and raving about like crazy shit.
Yeah,
know
have
what
you
I mean?
seen the Busy Bone had like a musket and got like, oh man, it's just sad.
It's really
Yeah,
sad. 'Cause there's like
yeah.
some mental health stuff going on.
Yeah, he's got some stuff. Yeah. Bone Thugs. Well, I better take my rally cap off.
The rally didn't work. We need to get one of those rally monkeys. We need to invest in one.
We really do. We need a baseball hippie rally show. Yeah. Bremer, you got to start a baseball hippie baseball team to play with online.
I know. You've been telling me that. We need to do that. We'll do that.
Because then you can start from scratch. And then I think the key is to not give a fuck. Just go hard in the not caring category.
But how do you do it when it takes like an hour? How do you not care, you know?
Well, they really use your patience against you because it's like, I'd say the one thing of not caring is just swinging at every pitch. But like online, they're going to pick up on that and just throw you junk.
Yeah, they're just going to throw everything out of the strike zone or whatever. Right?
It's kind of like a metaphor of life. If you're not patient, they're going to throw you junk, man. Junk mail, junk bonds.
And then junk pitches.
Sakar Labasora, my man. Carver, you want the last word tonight? You got anything to say? You got any feedback for us, man? We're on our probably 10th or 11th show. We've had all sorts of guests. I think you know some of them. And, man, you rank up there, my friend. We're going to do an award show at the end of the year. We're going to watch a Kevin Costner baseball movie while we talk as well.
All right.
So those are upcoming shows. But you got any advice, feedback? I know you're in the video you do for work, and you also are a huge movie buff. We didn't even get into that today, but when John was on the show playing Red Hot Chili Pepper songs, we talked a lot about film and baseball and psychedelia. And film is psychedelic. It is trippy. So, yeah, got anything you want to say? Any last words?
Honestly, yeah, thank you guys for having me. I've been watching the show. I think it's great. I'm excited to see some more. And yeah, we'll talk movies off the air.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Word.
Let's do it, man.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, then Brammer, you got anything you want to add in here at the end?
No, man, it was a good show. It was fun.
It was a good show. I had a good feeling. I was a little tired to start, but we did fucking good.
These were fun.
Guys.
Baseball cards were
fun. Shout out to your baseball. That was a great segment. Shout out to Carver. Shout out to your baseball cards. This is the Baseball Hippie Show.
Maybe we'll do some of this guy next time.
Hall of Fame next time.
Oh, it's like the Hall of Fame almanac or some shit. It's pretty cool. Just like we'll pop open a page and we'll do a deep dive on whoever. I don't know who's this. Dave Bancroft. I don't know about Dave Bancroft.
Never heard of him.
Let's do more history stuff when you're on. We're gonna do the history of the Soul Patch as well. So
I'll look into it. I'll do some research.
Yeah,
who had a better who wore it better, Richie Sexton or Apollo Ono?
Apollo Ono, all the way.
Yeah, his was like this.
Yeah, and plus he won the gold. I mean, Richie didn't do shit. He struck out a lot. Come on.
He hit under 21 RBIs. That 1 year off the bench as a utility player.
Dude, he was so bad. Once people figured him out, like, he struck out every time. It's crazy.
That's why you can't put a basketball player on a baseball field. Richie was meant to be the four spot on the Cavs.
Power forward.
Yeah, he could have been the Twin Tower with Tristan Thomas. He could have been a force.
Well, at that point, it would have been Zadrunas Sokauskas, right?
Let's be honest. Oh man, I could talk about Cleveland sports all day. Well, in the great eternal words of the Seattleite Drew Carey, Cleveland rocks. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, Carver.
Thanks for having me. Talk to you guys soon.
Peace, y'all.
Yo. Well, I wonder if